G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video I'm going to be looking at installing ArchDeepin from antechdesigns. So I want to have a look at how this works, and I noticed in antechdesigns ArchDeepin here we're on the live disk at the moment, and you'll notice we have gparted. So we can use that. So what we're going to do is first of all start the installer and I might just do that with the keyboard. So choose English. I just pressed enter there. So we're going to prepare the installation, press enter. Now set virtual console, I'm not really sure what that one was all about. I think I chose the default UTF-8 because that is what the English Australia one is, UTF-8 or English or something. So I used that one. So I have done this install once already. Set the desktop keyboard, which will be English, US English. That one there for me. List devices. Now we can partition disk. The SDA, so let's have a look at that one, and we will choose gparted from here, and I'm glad he's got gparted in there because I find that much easier than parted and all that because it's graphical, so it's a much better way. I process the graphical better than the text, to be honest. So what I'm going to do here is FAT32, it's already boot USB, but we can, if we want, delete that. And if we just stretch that out a bit, you'll see your apply button show up. Otherwise you press on the arrow. So we'll just delete that and delete all existing information on that, and then we'll create a new one, and we'll go FAT32 and add that and apply. And apply and close that, and then I'll right click on that and manage flags and do boot ESP and close that. So that's that one done. So I've got my Linux swap there. I'll leave that as it is, and this ext here currently has ArchDeepin on it, so I'm going to unmount that. I'm going to delete that and apply, and then I'm going to create a new one, use all of that, add that, ext4 and apply, close that. So the next one is my ext4. This one here is my data disk, which is the remainder of the disk. I've got some data on that, so I don't want to touch that, so I shall leave that alone. So I just got to remember number 1 is the boot, and number 3 is where Arch is being installed. So what we're going to do is mount the partitions, press enter. So select the root partition. This is the partition where Arch will be installed. Arch will be installed on SDA3. It will be ext4, enter. Mount is successful. Select swap partition. So the swap partition is SDA2. Now select EFI partition, which is SDA1. Enter. It's already been formatted, so if you reformat, doing so will erase all data. Yes, let's do that. And we want boot EFI. And the mount is successful. Now we press enter for done. Let's go back. Install base. Okay, so that's the base installed. I'm pretty sure we need to run the mkinit cpio. I'm not sure. We'll do that anyway. Press enter. I think I'm not focused on the screen. There we go. So enter, run that. Install the bootloader. We want grub 2. So we'll select yes there. This will copy the bootable grub EFI stub to boot EFI, which is what we want. So if there's already a bootloader there, you can press no, but we're going to press yes. And we go back, configure the base, generate FS tab, UUID, I use that one there. Set the host name. I'll call it ArchDeepin Tosh for my Toshiba. Enter. Set time zone is Australia, Perth. Yes. Set hardware clock. I think UTC when you just Linux on its own, I'm pretty sure. Set system locale, which is English AU somewhere. That one there, UTF-8. Enter. Set the root password. I don't know if we need to set a root password or not. I think if you don't do that, you got sudo out of the box. I'm not really sure. I can't remember that. Somebody might want to tell me whether it makes a difference whether you need a root password or not. Actually, we'll set a root password, see what happens. All right, let's do that. I think that's Debian that you do that. Add new user, which will be me. Colin. Enter password for me. So that's password for me. And we go back. Don't really want to review and done. Close the installer, yes. Command has completed. Press enter to exit the terminal. So that is ArchDeepin from antechdesigns installed. Hopefully all goes well. I'm pretty sure it will. And then I will boot into the newly installed desktop and we'll have a bit of a look around. So here we are in the desktop of ArchDeepin from antechdesigns post install. So what we're going to do is an update first of all before we do anything at all. Update the system. So I believe it's sudo pacman dash capital S YU, I believe. Put in your password. And we'll let that update and say yes and enter. So let's have a quick look through the system. We have a full screen menu. If we click up here, we can drop it down to a smaller size menu. We can have a look at the categories list, and there's not a lot in here from out of the box anyway. Simple screen recorder I installed. Graphics, you've got an image viewer. Office, you've got a manual, and system. And that's where most things are. So if we was to right click the desktop, we can select wallpaper from there, and we can scroll our mouse to go left and right. So if we right click again, we can go to corner settings and we can select any of these settings on the corner there: control center or Windows, launcher and desktop. Fast screen off. Not quite sure what that one is, so let's set that one and see what that does. Is that like a show desktop or something? I'm not really sure. Oh, not sure. So corner settings, let's just go none for now. We can create new folder, new Office text spreadsheets, presentation, plain text. So this ArchDeepin from antechdesigns is a very base install of ArchLinux with the Deepin Desktop environment, and not a lot in here at all from out of the box, which is good because you can gives you a good Arch base and a simple Arch base which you can then build on and install your own applications. If we just have a quick look through the settings of the control center, I think it's called. Yep, the control center. Let's just go through here. We've got personal or accounts. Got my account there. Display settings. And I like these little jump lists here where you can jump through instead of having to scroll all the way through, which is a nice little change. You've got your transparency effects there. Themes. Papyrus dark. So a lot of papyrus there. I like the papyrus icons anyway. I'm a fan of those. Personalization, font, window effect. Now I don't know what that does, the window effect there. Probably just the animations and the effects that goes on here. Okay. The opening and closing animations. Network, sound. As you can see, I've got sound there for my input, time and date, power management, mouse settings, keyboard, and system information. So that's my system information there. You got boot menu, distribution Arch, it's rolling. Edition is Arch rolling and 64-bit. So if we was to right click the dock down here, we can go to some of the plugins here. You got onboard, which is a keyboard, and you can simply turn that off. You can keep it hidden. You can go to smart hide and go to large, small, medium. Location can be on the top, on the left, or on the right. We can also go to efficient mode, which gives you a full screen width panel across the bottom there. We have a calendar, shutdown. You can also start your system monitor from here as well. Battery, power management, Wi-Fi, speaker volume, Bluetooth, and simple screen recorder. Now just one thing I was looking at here was to try and make some links to my data drive. So Control H will show you hidden files or unshow you hidden files. If you want to get to those, you need to go to Settings and Hidden Files, and you can uncheck that here, there, or turn it on, or Control H. You've also got a dark theme from the window. And I see we've got a pretty good blur effect going on in here too, which is quite nice. Now, I was trying to create links to these things here, which I can create links here. And then it asks you where you want to put the links, which if I said home, call it documents, shortcut. If I call it documents, I don't know what that's going to do. Save that. Already exists. Oh, we can replace, so I didn't know that. Failed to create symlink, cause file exists. Alright, so normally in most Linux desktops you can delete your Let's just get rid of the hidden files for now. Normally you can right click and move to trash or delete or whatever. Not in this case. You can't do that. So I'm not sure what the answer is to create a link from a data partition there. I can create link and put it into home, documents, shortcut, and save that. And then you've got this one here. But it's not the same as using it as a native documents folder, so you don't have the two of them there. So I'm not sure what the answer to that one is. It doesn't seem to run with the same rules as a lot of other Linux desktops do, so that's what separates Deepin Desktop environment from the others. Maybe it was probably best, I think, if I tried to install that data partition as the home partition. I'm not sure if that option was there when I installed it, so I might have to go back and investigate the installer and see if that's possible, because that would be probably the better answer to that. And actually, when you do click on, or when you open your file manager, it does ask you to put a password to actually mount this drive as well. So I'm not sure if that's the reason why. So there's not many apps in the system. So if we have a look at, if we go to terminal, and let's right click and pin that, or click on dock, that'll keep it there permanently. And if we go sudo pacman-S, we probably need a video player, don't we? So if we go capital S and a small s, I think is search, from what I remember with Arch. If I try video, see if we can find the, oh, I didn't need sudo, did I? What I need to do is do a search for DDE, is it? And see what we can find there. So you got Deepin KWin. So the other thing we could probably look for is just Deepin, I think, would be the best one. Deepin. So there we've got Deepin Calculator, Deepin Bootmaker, Deepin Calculator, Deepin Calendar. That's installed. Deepin Movie, that's the one. So let's try Deepin-Movie, Deepin-KWin, Deepin-Movie. Let's do that. And let's mess around with the Deepin KWin as well. And let's try a Deepin KWin. I want to try and keep all these things native if we can. Native to the desktop environment anyway. KWin is new. I've seen antechdesigns upload a couple of videos regarding KWin. So I just wanted to have a look at that. A bunch of errors going on there. Expected download size exceeded, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, so that is Deepin KWin installed. Failed to commit transaction, unexpected error. So I'm not sure if I've done something wrong or whether my mirrors need to be sorted. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe I need to sort my mirrors. So we have, let's have a look in categories, video. we got the Deepin movie. So you've got a light theme on that and a dark theme as well. So that's, well, you can uncheck the light theme. That's how that works. And also I noticed that it's installed also the MPV media player, which is a good media player as well. Very simple, just drop your files here and it'll play your files. Let's have a look at installing internet browser. So I think I'll install Firefox. So Deepin KWin failed, that didn't install. So I'm not sure what I've done wrong there. Let's install Firefox. That's Firefox installed. So let's just check out the menu and make sure Firefox is installed. A little blue dot there which suggests there's something new. There it is. So Firefox is installed. Let's just check that out quickly. Help and about Firefox 67.0.2. Let's just dock Firefox to the panel there. So I'm going to have a look at the mirrors. So we need our terminal. Sudo etc, whatever you call it, pacman.d, I think it is, pacman.d. That should have been, oh, we can probably use gedit for that because gedit's installed. mirror.list. So we can uncomment the ones that suit me. So I'm looking for Australia. Looks like they're all commented anyway. Well, there is certainly a lot of servers there. So there's the Australian server there. Okay, so I've adjusted the mirrors a bit, so I've gone through that. That was a long drawn out process. There may be a more of an automated way of doing that. I'm not aware of it. So I just thought I'd do it the long way. So what we're going to do now is try KWin again, Deepin KWin, and see if we have any luck with that. So this time I didn't get any errors. I did update the system. I adjusted the mirrors and uncommented all the ones I didn't want, except for anything in Singapore, Thailand, New Zealand and Australia, because they seem to be the closest ones to Australia. So I left all those ones available, and that seems to be all working pretty good. So looks like KWin may have installed. So let's just check out the menu. Now that's the multitask view. So it looks like KWin's still not installed. So I'm not sure if it's under here anywhere. What I'm going to do is a reboot and see if that makes any difference. I've had a bit more of a look around into the KWin effects. So what I've discovered is there's a link to the Deepin KWin effects that I've found, and I think that was on antechdesigns. It was a link from antechdesigns, I believe. Yes, it was. And this has got a file here, KWin RC. Now, what it tells you here is add the KWin RC file to your home.config folder and back up the original just in case. So let's have a look there. So we go to home, which is here, .config, and there's a KWin RC there. So I'll rename that to .bk, so it won't. So that file will not have any impact on the system at all with the .bk in front of it. So what we'll do here is, I'm not sure if I downloaded that or not. So we'll download that file. That's completed. So let's go to downloads. That's copy that to home.config and paste. I think I will log out and log back in and see if that makes any difference. So logged out and logged back in, and the result is well, that just that one there is the disk that wants to, the data partition that wants to be mounted. So let's do that. So that's mounted, this one here. Now you can see we have wobbly windows, and boy are they wobbly. Very, very wobbly. Let's close that, and we have the explosion effect. So we have quite a few things going on there. I'm not sure if everything works under this. Everything appears to be working so far. So far, so good with that one. Not sure about this multitasking view. I think for some reason it's got two entries in the menu. Not quite sure why. So I'm not quite sure how many other effects we have going on in here. Let's try Firefox. So we've got corner, half. So we've got quadrants happening there. Huge wobbly window. And boing, it goes. So that all seems to be working quite nicely. So that looks pretty good. So that's a quick look around ArchDesigns Deepin Desktop environment. Make it what you want. Install what you want. It's probably a good idea to try and keep to the native apps that come with Deepin, I suppose, and you can probably install on top of that. Deepin Movie, Image Viewer came in by default. Deepin Movie wasn't there, it now is, because I've installed it. And desktop environment there, I'm not sure what it's all about. Oh, it just probably takes you through how to use things, okay. And we also have, if we open a few things here, the multitasking view. Oh, I thought that just showed all open windows. Obviously not. That can add more desktops. Probably if you take, oh, there we go. So if you take away one desktop, so if you've got more than one workspace open, then it shows you overall. So minus a workspace, and then it just shows you the open windows. So I hope you enjoyed the look around of ArchDesigns ArchDeepin desktop environment. A very simple install process. Wasn't too hard. If I can do it, almost anyone can do it. And what that does is gives you a very, very clean base of ArchLinux with the Deepin desktop environment to build upon and make it your own, and only install the applications that you need. And I can see that as quite an advantage without having to have other applications that you really don't need within the system. So I hope you enjoyed the look around. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.